Hi everyone, good evening. I am Babs, and welcome to the Funkenstein Wrestling Roundup, where I round up some of the most interesting minds and individuals in wrestling to talk and chat for them to share their views and events and what they have going on. So thank you for joining us for our 10th episode. Really excited tonight. Colin West of UWA Elite and CTW, which is Change the World Wrestling, will be back on the show. He'll be my guest tonight. CTW has a big show coming up next month, so we're going to definitely talk about that. And there's so much going on, so I'm going to hit the news, but really quick, I want to do some thank yous. I want to thank the Funkenstein Wrestling Superstore. They are our sponsors, so I'd like to thank them for that. I'll have all the information on where you can find them. You definitely want to check them out. They have pretty much every wrestling need that you could possibly want. They can fulfill it, and they have it. So definitely thank you to them. Thank you to Kevin Nasta and the entire crew at Damage 365 Radio for allowing us to be on the network. Again, we're so thankful for that. Thankful to all of you for listening in. Thank you for your support. So like I said, tonight's guest is Colin, and there's a bunch of news and essentials that I'd like to jump into. There's just so much going on. I actually had to make notes. I had like 5 pages of notes of things that are going on in the world of wrestling. I'm going to start with WWE coming up, and I'm really excited about this. It's one of the reasons why I got the network is the Cruiserweight Classic. It starts next week on the 13th, which is a Wednesday, on the WWE Network. And it's going to be aired through Wednesday nights throughout July and August. They've already started taping some episodes. I've been trying to stay away from those spoilers. I kind of want to see it as it airs, but they've already started taping, which is great. I did watch the opening ceremonies, and that was really interesting. It was really amazing how within 30 seconds that each wrestler got to introduce themselves when they entered the ring, how they really got their personalities and their sort of personas off very quickly, and you got a real sense of what they were about, what kind of wrestler they were. It was really amazing to see. So lots of talent from all over the world. It should be a really, really great, event, and I'm looking forward to seeing the episodes coming up. So that was really great. Also big coming up on NXT, Hideo Itami is back from injury, so that's really exciting to see how he works himself into the new NXT. There's been a lot of changes since Itami's surgery and injury, so it'll be interesting to see. I'm sure he'll fit right in with some of the new talent that's there, and the new talent that apparently is coming into NXT. So he's back from injury. That's awesome. Also, too, I have to say, the amount of coverage that WWE gets on Forbes is really interesting. I put in WWE News, and they kept popping up Forbes, and I'm like, okay. I guess they're a business, but it's kind of shocking, to realize how legit WWE is considered when you see it on Forbes. So there was a really interesting article about Nike taking them to court for trademark infringement. Apparently, they want to trademark the phrase, "just bring it," which was used for the SmackDown video game a number of years ago. So that apparently upset Nike because they think it's a little too close to, just do it, and that people will be confused. I don't know about that, but they've decided to challenge it, so it'll be interesting to see how that kind of unfolds. I think it's interesting. WWE does do a lot of things that are, I think, very close to copyright infringement, so, but very often they don't get challenged on it. So it'll be interesting to see how that case unravels. I'm sure they'll probably settle out of court, but still it'll be interesting to see. Also, too, interesting, WWE is going to be actually broadcasting Raw and SmackDown in the Pacific Islands for the first time. And this includes Samoa, which makes me kind of shake my head a little bit, considering how many Samoans, individuals of Samoan descent have been champion. So apparently they couldn't even watch it. So it's kind of weird, but apparently for the first time they're going to be in the Pacific Islands. So pretty cool, but like I said, kind of weird. I wouldn't have expected that, considering. But now coming up on the 24th, it's Battleground. That is the next pay-per-view. There is a big triple threat for the WWE title. I mean, we knew this was coming. Ambrose, Rollins, Reigns. The Shield finally colliding. Ambrose is still the champion, and he'll be the champion most likely going into the pay-per-view, so that'll be really interesting to see them collide. Also, too, there's a big 6-man, which is Cena will team up with Enzo and Big Cass to take on the Bullet Club, who are going to be together as a unified group. So AJ Styles, Anderson, Gallows, they'll be all together, so that'll be a big 6-man. Kevin Owens is going to take on Sami Zayn because they're going to fight forever. And you know what? It's always good matches. They always really entertaining to watch, so I really can't complain about that. I kind of wish it was for the Intercontinental Championship, but hey, don't always get what you want. But it's going to be a good match anyway. And then coming off of the fallout from Money in the Bank, Natalya is going to be taking on Becky Lynch. So those also going to be a really great match to see. And also too, other big news outside of the pay-per-view and the Cruiserweight Classic and Hideo Itami coming back is the brand split. So it will take place coming up on the 19th on that first live SmackDown. They're going to have the draft. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. I read some rumors about it, how Cena's going to be the face of SmackDown, and that Roman Reigns is going to be the face of Raw. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out. That doesn't sound too far off, but we'll see. So that's coming up on the 19th. In TNA news, I don't have a lot. Usually they're in the news for horrible things or messed up stuff, but no, not really. At least not this week. Actually, tonight is the final deletion match between the Hardys, and they're going to be wrestling in their hometown of Cameron, North Carolina. So it'll be interesting to see how that unfolds. Their feud has been really interesting to watch. And as they've been feuding and wrestling and teaming forever, and they're keeping it fresh with this, so that's pretty cool. So it'll be interesting to see how that match unfolds. Also, too, the Ultimate X match is going to be for the X Division title, and Jade is taking on Marty Bell in a street fight. So some knockouts action. So that's on TNA. So some good stuff for them. They need that. Really, they do, unfortunately. Ring of Honor, after the last show, it was announced that Roderick Strong is leaving after about 13 years, which is big news. Final battle is going to be December 2nd at the Hammerstein Ballroom in New York City. Apparently, too, Moose is no longer locked into a contract, so he's had a bunch of offers, and he's really a huge free agent. He's got a lot of steam behind him. If I was Ring of Honor, I'd put a ring on that, Like Dalton Castle, I would put a ring on that, too. So that he's a big, huge free agent. So we'll see if he resigns with Ring of Honor or decides to go somewhere else. He's had some offers. Ring of Honor will be back in the Philly area on July 16th. They'll be at the 2300 Arena, formerly known as the ECW Arena, in South Philly. And Jay Lethal is going to be defending against Colt Cabana. And there will be a triple threat for the World Tag Team title. It's the Addiction versus the Motor City Machine Guns versus War Machine. And it's not a pay-per-view, but it's going to be a TV taping. So that's coming up this month as well. In CZW news, Tournament of Death is available on DVD now, so you can pick that up. On Friday the 8th, which is coming up this Friday, it's Freelance Wrestling versus CZW in Chicago at the Bottom Lounge. Matt Tremont, friend of the show, will be taking on Isaias Velasquez for the CZW title. Prince Mustafa Ali will defend the Freelance title against Jonathan Gresham. And someone who hasn't been in CZW in a long time, so this is kind of interesting, is Robert Anthony. He's going to be taking on Ethan Page in a 2 out of 3 falls table match. So that sounds like that could be a show stealer. That'll be interesting to see. Then on Saturday, on the 9th, it's New Heights at the Rockstar Pro Arena in Dayton, Ohio. If he wins on the 8th, Tremont will defend against the Tournament of Death winner Ricky Shane Page. It's in a rematch for the finals of the Tournament of Death, where Page was victorious. So he's got a good chance. He's already beaten Tremont at his own game, so we'll see. Hopefully Matt can defend the title. So it's going to be a good match between him and Ricky Shane Page. Also, too, Leo Rush is going to defend the Wire Championship against AR Fox. So that should be really amazing as well. So those are just 2 huge matches going on there at CZW this weekend over in the Midwest. Then this Saturday, it's Excellence Pro Wrestling, where you will see me. I'll be at the merch table, of course. So if you do come see us. I know a lot of people usually CZW's in the area, so a lot of people miss out. If you usually go to CZW and you want to check out some live wrestling, come check us out. So it'll be at the Forest Lodge in Sellersville. It's a nice drive, pretty easy to get to. The show is Claws and Paws, The Fight for Independence 2. Bell time is at 7 p.m. Matches are, so far announced, are Icarus, and Oleg the Usurper against Hallowicked and Granite Kuma. Havoc versus Rembrandt Lewis. Smiley versus Blind Rage. Ken Broadway versus Clutch Adams versus Jimmy Blaze versus Danger Jameson. And One Night Only is going to team up with the Boar of Moldova to take on Too Many Cooks and Kobold. So some really, really great matches. If you can make it over, come join us. Like I said, it should be a beautiful day. It's going to be a great night for wrestling. I mean, what's the best thing to do? A summer night? Go to wrestling. That sounds like a perfect Saturday night to me. So I'm hoping I see a lot of people there. Okay. On Point Wrestling, coming up July 16th, I'm pretty excited about this too, Survival of the Sickest, which is their first deathmatch tournament. In the first round, it's Mark Angel versus Devin Moore versus Matt Tremont. Danny Havoc versus True Blood, which is going to be a great match. Connor Claxton versus Jimmy Lyon, and I know there's a lot of people who want to see Jimmy get his, and Connor might be the guy to do it. Jeff Cannonball is going to take on Louis Ramos, which will be a really, really good matchup too. It's going to be at the Old Time Wrestling Arena in Williamstown. You can check out www.opwrestling.com for more information on that show. It's going to be my first deathmatch tournament. I don't consider Zandig's tournament. I did see the finals. I was there for that. But I don't consider that my first because I wasn't there for the whole thing. So I'm looking forward to it. OPW, On Point Wrestling, is one of my favorites to see. I support them wholly. And I think they're just a great group of guys. It's a great roster. Just really class. It's just a great event. It's a good time. So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing my first deathmatch tournament coming up on July 16th. Also, too, this weekend, if you're up in Staten Island, check out Warriors of Wrestling this Saturday night. It's the Ultimate Survival, and it's a huge show for them. They're going to have a Royal Rumble type match, and there's going to be a huge final battle between Rude Boy Riley, who was on the show last time, and the American Nightmare Logan Black. Riley, when he was on, actually talked about this feud. It's basically a blood feud, and this is going to be the final culmination of all of that anger and hatred and just feud. So it's going to be a really amazing match. They have some really crazy stipulations. It's going to be very intense. So it's going to be a great show. So if you're up in Staten Island, definitely check out Warriors of Wrestling. You can check out their website at www.warriorsofwrestling.com. So these are some of the events that are going on. There's so many more. Honestly, I don't think it's possible to actually do a 15-minute wrestling news show. I could do it for Chikara, but that was a little smaller in theme and topic. So there's a upcoming kind of overview of some of the biggest things going on, and there's a lot. I mean, from WWE on down, there are huge matchups. There's lots of people coming out on the indies now. So you have Damian Sandow on the indies, Cody Rhodes, and his announcement that he was going to be in Bola. The Battle of Los Angeles for PWG was huge news. And that really opens up so many awesome matches. And he has this dream list of just amazing things. I know Dalton Castle was on there, which I really, really want to see. I know Kurt Angle was on the list. I know that's happening. So just so many amazing dream matches to check out. I know he's taking on Zack Sabre Jr. at Evolve 66, I believe it is. I know it's going to be at Evolve. I just don't know if it's going to be, I think it's 66. Coming up, and that's going to be, I believe, in Baltimore. So that's going to be huge. So much really great stuff in wrestling. So I definitely urge people to support independent wrestling, really support all wrestling, but support independent wrestling. There's lots of people out there just, pouring their heart out and following their passion for very, very little money and money, injuries and risks and things. And, we all do it because we love it. We're all involved with it in some way because we love it. So definitely support independent wrestling, and support anyone that you like, in wrestling, anywhere. Even if it's WWE, that, buy their shirts, tweet about them, talk about them. That's what shows people, who you want to see. If you want to see your guys get more time, tweet about it, share about it, buy their stuff, show that you support them. Like I said, and that's regardless of any level they're on. But definitely support independent wrestling, just for all the good hard work that the people are out there doing. And there's lots of great people out there and lots of great groups, like, for example, Excellence, OPW, Warriors of Wrestling, just to name a few. UWA Elite, CTW, just to name a few. So there's lots of really great people and independent wrestling going on, so I definitely urge you to support that. So what we're going to do is we are going to play some words from our sponsors. Then we will be back with Colin West, and we're going to talk about Fight Cystic Fibrosis, which is the upcoming show that'll be next month for Change the World Wrestling. So stick with us. We'll be back in about 2 minutes. Enjoy these messages from our sponsors.
The following announcement has been paid for by the New World Order.
This is the hardcore icon, Just Incredible, and you're listening to Damage 365 Radio. Now that's not just the coolest, that's not just the best. Damage 365